Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. It's afternoon probably somewhere. It's probably evening somewhere. It's probably morning somewhere. I almost said good morning, but my Saturday mornings have only been getting slower. What the heck? Oh, god dang it. Yeah, no, no. I was wondering what was going on with my head for 1 second, and I figured it out in 2 seconds. So, don't worry, everybody. Hello, Silos. Welcome, Silos. We were wondering where you were yesterday. You didn't say nothing. Well, welcome to the stream, everyone. I'm your host, Isaac MCCanary. Gonna do some drawing. I've got a lot to. Honestly, I could draw whatever I want. I have a lot to draw. Gotcha. I have a lot of different things I can draw. I kind of want to draw like as much as I'm like I could work on these because now I have. I could polish them up. I'm also just like, but actually, I kind of want to do. I kind of want to do a scene. I kind of want to do a scene. We've had some good scenes. We've had some good scenes. So it's there's a lot I could draw. There's a lot I could draw. Scene. Mainly as of right now, I've been doing a lot of artwork for the Mothership game, and I'll actually admit I've been having a hard time being like, oh shoot, I should probably post those to other places. I need to do that at some point. I need to do that at some point, but for now, I'm just like, I'll get to it probably. I'll get to it probably. Mainly, there's just a lot. Do the face grab of Frank. I mean, I was thinking about that. I mean, it's a good moment. So, for request actually, we might do that. I'm just glad you're able to do a call out like that. I'm just glad you're able to do a call out like that. That just means that there's enough stuff happening in this setting like this that you can actually be like, hey, do this, because it's recognizable. Gotcha. And honestly, I'm just glad that it is like re-listenable. And I've noticed people listening to the VOD, and I'm glad you guys are. Like that's the thing. That's always been the goal with everything that I've done here. Not saying I'm the only person who does this on this godforsaken platform, but I've always maintained that my goal with the platform, first and foremost, is to make material that if you're here live for it, that's great, but you actually don't have to be. I've always maintained that my stuff works because you should and can be able to go back and watch it. I mean, you should be watching me live on Twitch, yes, but you also should check out the VODs, yes. Again, that's not to say that no, like, obviously, yes, people should come and watch live if you can come watch live. My point is if you can't watch live, that's also fine. The material I want to believe that I'm making is something that if you weren't able to make it for the live show, you can still watch the VOD and have an enjoyable experience and kind of hit in between because I also think some of the people who do that, which they do, also A are a little bit bigger and can get away with this, and B are a lot less interactive because of that, but that's not their fault actually. They have a bit of a privilege with that, I think. And I don't blame them for that. But maintaining that, you have a chance to interact if you're able to join live, but you don't have to either. Though apparently that's becoming a bit of a problem on Twitch these days, which I kind of understand. Gotcha. Go blow leaves. Have fun blowing your leaves. I'll be here. Drawing Fred getting strangled. Now he's got the engineering suit, so I really gotta think about how exactly that impacts his look. I also definitely want to do a couple of drawings. I want today to focus on, now that the creatures are here like a lot more and that they're much more present. I definitely want there to be a little bit more focus on them as entities. I want them to have more limelight. So probably I also just be doing a lot of I'll be doing a lot of creature pictures and stuff like that for a little bit. I mean, it's the thing I've been like the most excited to be working on again is going to be all the creature designs. Got the thumbs on the right side. It's a weird position, but I did do the thumbs correctly. This this up a little bit. I think if he's like just a basic engineering suit, uh he's got this, but he's got like a little bit of reinforcement in places, I'm gonna say. Some kind of thicker glove-like things. Give him some like plastic reinforced padding. Good, but good call out, honestly. Like I was like a little bit like, there's so much I need to draw. What do I even start with? And I mean, like I was wanting to draw this, so this is if this is Fred. Fred's a little bit thicker. And I'm glad you're enjoying like being able to like listen to it as well. Like part of why I wanted to do this. It's as much an acting thing as it is getting to play some tabletop. Tabletop for me has always been acting. Like even if I didn't grow up like being super big drama kid or anything, like I always liked a lot of improv. Actually, I remembered being one of the more improv focused kids in Boy Scouts, especially near the end of Boy Scouts for me. I really enjoyed doing improv bits and stuff. Um, and I feel like for me, being able to do like a performance now that I'm like starting to get into this stuff is like part of what I enjoy about doing tabletop, because I think tabletop for me works best when you don't, and especially Mothership really relies on this, which is why I think I ultimately really like it as a setting or as a system, is the game really wants you to not rely on rolling, both as the GM and as a player. If you can find a way to resolve something without having to roll it from both sides, they encourage you to do that. They encourage you to rule it that way too, because they don't want you to get bogged down in rolls. Because ironically, as good as rolls are. Like rolling is not like obviously we wouldn't have dice games if dice weren't good. Um, but I do think that a lot more tabletop is willing to be like make this more about a kind of live session of like figuring things out rather than just be about rolling dice, which again, my mileage will vary, of course. I think everybody has different taste when it comes to that kind of thing, but I do like that that's an element of it, actually. Also, I need. Hold on. Hold on, I need to figure this out. Hold on, I need to figure this out. Yeah, this. Actually, really, okay, yeah. I like this better. Get some fingers in here. Get get them good old sausages in there. Get them big old thick sausages in there. Nope, we're gonna move this. Let's keep this here. Sometimes you gotta move where your stuff is. Or what will make sense. Give him kind of like I imagine like it's not metal, it's just like it's just essentially like plastic covering to protect like his knees and stuff. He's got a little bit of armor. It said he had 2 armor. So it's enough to prevent. So he's got like some kind of reinforcing here. Some kind of like rigging reinforcing. Which I might draw a full body of some at some point to like get a better idea of like how this would work. Let's go strapped around here that way. Actually, he has the gun, so this hand wouldn't be here. Oh, duh. This is the hand that's free. I like that hand in there. What we're gonna do, gotta redraw this hand real fast. Gun. I get to choose what the gun is, because my friends never said they wanted to. They never asked what the gun was. So I get to choose what the gun is. I'm gonna try. We'll see. I might try to do something creative with it. What's a weird handgun? I can't just do the CZ75, though I want to. And because it is I do want it to be a repeating handgun. Got 15 rounds, so it's decently large. Not gonna give him a SOCOM, that'd be silly. Let me stew on that. We just at least get shape of a gun. Hold on, I'm experimenting a little here to kind of better spacing. We got 1, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's right. Yep, that's correct. Base the gun here. Top the gun here. I mean, I do kind of like the idea of like a Ruger of some kind, just because I feel like nobody's thought of a Ruger in a while. Nobody's thought of 007 in a while, as far as I know, so nobody's thought of a Ruger. And I've always liked the shape of Rugers, so I need the PP7. Where's the P? Is PP7 not a Ruger? Oh, it's a Walter. Oh, I'm so sorry, everybody. Oh, I'm so sorry, everybody. Though, let me think about this. Going into space. If this is a milsect handgun, you could do a Walter PPK. Is kind of like the idea of it, right? Like just like a really that I do like the idea of that. Oh, okay, yeah. Do a futuristic version of it, kind of. This is safe. This is exactly safe. This is exactly what happened, and this is exactly what my players would have wanted to happen. Wildly throwing around a EP7. As for this, give him kind of a mask. I feel like I had a little bit of a picture. Hold on. Not one of this one. Okay, he does. Yeah. This right here, this is Fred. That's Fred. This is Colia. Yeah. Why design Bible are important. Something like that. That. To follow. Yeah, 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 I like that. And then he's got kind of thicker gloves. I definitely want him to have thicker gloves. He's got the engineering suit. There. I don't have to draw the rest now. Damn right I won't. There. Like something like a shin protector. Just something like that. And I do a little bit thicker here. Something like that. Keep this. Keep this the way that it is. Still want to figure out how to get a little bit more detail on the chest area. Again, I imagine that since this is engineering, we'll keep this a little bit more flexible. Like, it has joint flexibility, and it mainly just has padding to, like, protect the elbows, the knees. Maybe it's, like, just a thicker overall. It's not necessarily puncture resistant. I would say it's, like, slashing resistant. Like, the idea is that it's, like, a thick... It's got, like... It's got hardened plastic insets, and it's got, like, a little bit more durability for that, but it's otherwise just kind of like a really thick, it's just a really thick, um, almost leathery outfit. It's not that well armored. Ventilation. Big enough that a person can fit it. A little bit. We'll do that. Imagine that it's have like a there. Yeah, kind of like that. Kind of like that. Could also have done like something more like this. Rotated it. Yeah, that's more interesting. Like that. Gotta go. It's gotta go with the angle. That. Just gives it a little bit more interesting angle, I think. Now the question is, I think you've got some kind of opening here. And it's got to be a little bit farther in. The reason why is because like I want this to be a ledge is really what I want it to be. Oh, the classic. Oh, the classic. What do you mean I can't draw straight lines? I can't. I try. I try every time. I've learned my lesson. I cannot, in fact, draw straight lines. I've learned my lesson a long time ago. There we go. That actually translates that a little bit better. I mean, it'll be so dark you can't really see into it here in a second. Here in a second, it'll be just very, very dark. Let me think about this for a second. I need to, because I want to position everybody who's present, or at least everyone who is mostly present, in a way that makes sense. If I remember correct. Might actually have to shrink this handle a bit. On. A little bit too big. Needs to be big, but not that big. Parts that are exaggerated are the, specifically where the elongations happen, not necessarily the proportions of the body itself. Those are relatively the same. Those are relatively, or at least they should be relatively the same. There we go. I'm excited. I also will say, man, it is sometimes hard to continue to like keep up with projects. I am fighting tooth and nail, but man, I'm just like, I need more time to write. Fuck. Need more time to write. I need more time to do research. Mainly like music research. Actually, I've been needing to research the music for the next area. Though I think that like a lot of that, I oftentimes like today or whatever, I'm just have to be like, okay, I need to set aside time. I can't work on other things. I have to work on this. Like I've noticed recently, I like have started doing more shorts again, which is like good and all, but I also am like having to fight that inclination to do that because that's partly motivated by the fact that those are doing very well and like arc raiders is a big thing and everything and yeah, but also I have a creative things that I want to do, right? Like it would be nice if it was as successful, but that matters to me. It does matter to me that I'm like sharing something that I'm working on, and I want it to matter more than how successful something's doing sometimes. Like I just want to be able to know that I'm getting more work done with those audio logs. But I've been getting backed up on audio logs, which is getting me backed up on writing, which is getting me backed up on working on art, which is getting me blah, 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 blah. Though, also to be fair, it has been the the week of it's the week of Thank Give, so I mean, there's a little bit of that in there too. It's been kind of a busy time for it. Which isn't helping, but you know, it'll be. I will survive. Remember correctly. I'm almost a little tempted to be like, actually, is he like lower because he's been drawn? He's been thrown. This fucking thing on his head is like, you know, kind of suffocating him. So it's just like, oh god. I'm gonna try that real fast. Yeah, I like that a little bit better too. I like that a little bit better too. It'll make it a little bit easier to like get someone in here. Hmm. Framing is hard. Framing is hard. And here's the thing, is I do this now. Let's go ahead and I have an idea. Take a circle, right? And take a circle. Take that circle. Put it around here. This is going to be a guiding line. This needs to be... Essentially, this... This is the focus of light. That's the focus of light. Now we just got to put on some media. And honestly, I just might be able to get away with just like a little bit messy here. That's kind of what makes this work a little bit better, I think, is like when I can be a little bit more messy with it. Get a little bit graphite-y with it, and then come back with some details. Better. Something more like that, maybe. Really, I just need to think about how exactly like the light kind of bounces off of all this and start some layers stuff. A little bit here. Honestly, if we do it more like this, that will make the actual. This will give the feeling that like he's away from the wall, because I need it to feel more like he's the wall is farther back. Is what I need personally. Highlights there. Give it a little bit more. There we go. Behind. Bit of a highlight here. Bit more of a highlight there. What's funny is again, I knew what graphite was, but I didn't actually really do much graphite in college. Like I learned about graphite in college, but I never really worked with it, and I feel like I would have really gotten into it, but I never. Uh, the major block, I wasn't gonna grind up 300 pencils to get enough media to be able to actually do that in an entire brush set. Fuck that. Now, if you can do and do graphite, of course, good on you. I did not have that patience. I was like, you want me to what? You want me to what? Before I even get to start working? No, thank you. I have a pencil. And this is what's important. When I say graphite, I don't mean like a pencil. Graphite drawing, in a certain sense, is not really pencil drawing, though a lot of pencils have graphite in them. Proper graphite is like actually a brush medium. What you do is you take like a pencil, or if it's out there, if you can find it, you find graphite medium, which is like a dust. It's almost like a graphite dust. And then you take a brush and you like brush on graphite onto something. It gives this nice soft mid-tony feel to things. That's what actual graphite is. And one of the ways that I learned how you can do it is you could just take a pencil and start grinding it. You take a pencil, you take a X-Acto knife, you just grind that thing. You grind it and you grind it until you get a literal pile of dust. That sounds awful. I don't want to do that. but it has this very like soft. It has a very soft aesthetic to it. It's very good for illustration. It's very good for like depicting like a grainy, semi-realistic, semi photorealistic look. It's very good for that. And this program does a good job of emulating a graphite look, even if on accident. I don't think this is technically a graphite paintbrush necessarily, but it feels like one. You can get a lot of built-up midtones and stuff this way. It's also really good because it's such a loose medium. It's such a loose medium as well that you have a lot more um, kind of much like this, it has a little bit more flexibility. You can kind of erase into it, erase away from it. You can move it around very easily, even compared to like pencil and stuff. Pencil graphite. Pencil graphite is not permanent, of course, but it certainly wants to stick. It wants to stick to a page much more than traditional graphite brushing does. And always like the results don't lie. Like I've seen really cool depictions of graphite. I just don't have the patience to actually prepare graphite the way you should prepare graphite to use graphite. That's too much work for me. We need to do continue. Got this right. Little bit. Just a layer. Just a layer. What the hell is this? What is this? It not be here? What the hell is that? I don't know what that is. Oh, it's the ruler. Jesus Christ. I was like, what the fuck? Why is there... Never mind. It was me. This ledge a little bit. Or, no. No, it's got one. Just kind of brightening up parts of this. Darken up this a little bit. That way, there's a shadow there. Yeah. One of the things that I've learned when it comes to applying medium like this that took me it did take me a little bit is like realizing when to like start pressing in when you like feel like something like, oh yeah, that's what I wanted, instead of like being very scribbly. I think being very scribbly is easy to fall into. I was very scribbly a lot. I scribbled a lot. I've scribbled for a long time, and over time I figured out how to scribble less. But once you can actually be like, okay, that's actually the direction, that's actually the stroke I wanted to get. You want to be like looking for those kind of faults. You want to look for those lines of least resistance. Something just kind of clicks. And I would call them faults. They're like fault lines. We're gonna go down to 10. A little bit of sharpness, some stuff. Darken that up a little bit. One. There we go. Kind of just giving it a little bit more grasp. Graphite medium is kind of weird, like when you're properly doing graphite, in that like it feels less like you're drawing and it feels more like you're putting something down and then moving it around. That's what a lot of graphite is, at least to me, is that you put down some graphite and then you go back with a tool and like it's not fixing erasing, it's more like manipulating erasing. You're more like moving something around to be a little bit more where you actually want it to be. More like a sculpting kind of practice than it is like a proper illustration. Though I like doing a mix personally. Bigger. Well, hot damn. That went fast. That went quick. This up a little. Okay. If I wanted to, I could have a little bit more blending, but I'm not really feeling like blending right now. I'm not really feeling like blending right now. Really want to capture kind of that feeling that like there's a lot of contrast on the light a little bit places. That would be like really dark. That's right there. Darker. Something like that. A bit more darkness here. A little bit more darkness there. Illustration is kind of weird. In that sometimes illustration kind of goes against a lot of like paint stuff, right? I feel like you really want to be kind of like watching where things go a lot with illustration, which can be very difficult, especially if you do a lot more painting. I've essentially been illustration was my introduction to a lot of artwork, so I feel like illustration is something that I'm fairly confident and used to at this point. So like I can't help but want to like grab a fine tooth pencil and just get in there. But if you're used to painting where you're just like fuck it, get in there, put down a bunch of medium and then move it around. That's more awkward for me. I'm not used to doing that as much. That's not to say that I can't and haven't. I am much more inclined to bust out the fine tools sometimes because it's a safe bet for me. Like I feel like I do much better if I can just bust out those fine tools sometimes. Take some take some real effort on my part to break away from that sometimes. Which I think I'm getting better at, and it's for the best. You don't want to lean too much into one discipline sometimes. You want to be able to be flexible enough that you can switch up your disciplines. That way you can get the best out of both. I think that sometimes it does really help that I have a much closer like I'm comfortable with a lot of like line work and a lot of really fine work personally. I think that helps a lot, but it means that sometimes to get an effect, I have a hard time sometimes being able to do like broad stroke stuff. That stuff really struggles with me sometimes. Sometimes I just nail it. I'm just like, how do I do that? As much of art. Come to think of it, much of art sometimes feels like is it's like you're just kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing, and then suddenly you do it and you're like, I don't know how I did that, but got it. Of course, not so much not that it's like you never know what you're doing, but sometimes there are just those moments where you're like, I don't know. That's okay too. Got a little bit of the idea is like this is the muscle tissue. The muscle tissue's been extended. It's not like any less muscle tissue. It's just been modified muscle tissue. Is the vibe I'm going for with that. God bless me. Good luck in ads, everybody. I believe in you. You're all good adults. I believe in you. Well, most of you are probably adults. If you're not an adult, one, don't let me know, and two, what are you doing here? You shouldn't be looking at this. That's a weird demographic. I feel like it's surprising how many kids really like scary horror stuff. I mean, I was one of those kids, honestly. Like, even though I would say I also was one of those kids that was terrified of everything, I was still one of those kids who was interested and fascinated by horror, I guess. So, uh, brains just built different. Mainly, the idea I'm going for here is to just like really capture that feeling of it being a spotlight on him. Oh, beans. Oh, I gotta wait for ads to pass. I'm sorry, I almost forgot. I almost forgot. My bird. My boyd. Get the ads. Good luck. Take your favorite whacking mallet. Never let them get too close. Anybody doing the black? I've never ever actually. I can't think of one anyways. I don't think I've ever participated in Black Friday. I think I have. I mean, need to. Probably some people would be like, good. Also in agreement. Yes, me, good. I don't know. I don't see the point. Well, I see a point, but not one that I really care about. Not one that I really care about, that's for damn sure. Money, yeah, you right. Is the funny money. I get it. I actually saw a video by Hank Green earlier, like trying to explain that they don't like Black Friday, but they got to do it anyways because it's a bit of a economical. It's actually a bit of an economic obligation than it is a anything else, and kind of weird because the way that he sees it, it's not a very good economical thing. Like it's not good for most people because it means for most people or all people, it's a loss. So it affects people who need to make every cent count more than people who don't need to make every cent count more. Bad. It's actually pretty bad. Boy, it sucks here. Hi, James. So, on that note, enjoy watching me drawing Jackson's character getting strangled by this, by per request of Silos, which honestly, probably, at this point, probably. Careful, James. You get us in trouble. But yeah, I think that whatever. It's whatever. But that aside, my whole setting is about actually kind of exploring more of that element of Alien because whilst it's there and it's very subtle and it's very good and it's in Dead Space and it's even more subtle, so much so that I would say it's only kind of there in so much that they put it there because it's a thing in Alien. I definitely want my setting to be like, no, half of the thing that sucks here is everything is an economic nightmare. That is something that I actually really want to be a part of the friction, right, of the setting, is that it's just as much that it leans more into those elements and actually, well, not actually, it goes more in depth in being able to explore that kind of thing because I feel like again, Alien would not be good without that part of the movie, and Dead Space also wouldn't be as good without that element of Dead Space. Though my criticism of Dead Space is Dead Space takes a lot of things that Alien does and kind of understands them. Actually, I think it's been a while since I played the original. The remake understands them better. I remember actually really liking how the remake handles a lot of its theming. It's at least a little bit more transparent about it and a little bit more willing to like explore that. Whereas I think that Dead Space, as much as I love it, is like a bunch of neat science fiction ideas that aren't really explored. There's a lot of neat science fiction ideas in it, and there's a lot of neat alien in it, but it doesn't really explore any of it. That's usually my biggest complaint of Dead Space. But that's fine. It's a fun game, so who cares? Well, some people care, and you're allowed to care about that. Some people want better written horror out of their horror, and that's fair. That's also fair. But this, I definitely want it to be like much like it's always there in the movie, right? Because Alien does a really good job, and welcome back from ads, everybody. Alien does a really good job of making it clear that like everything that is happening is mainly out of the main characters' control, right? It's a lot of it is out of their control due to manipulation by things in the background that have nothing to do with them, right? Like that's how much that's how the horror of that kind of like economic situation happens. I feel like Dead Space tries to do something like that, especially with things like the church and stuff. I think its biggest failing though is that in an effort to do that, it tries to get it gets more edgy about it. I don't want to be edgy, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna do it realistic. Like, no, I'm just gonna try to be like, this just sucks. Like, I'm not gonna make it like suck because it's everyone had to sell their babies up the fucking creek. I just want to make it like annoying. I just want to make it annoying as often as possible, and that's what makes it scary and terrifying. Is that like so much of what's going to happen in the setting that involves like the corporate side is due in part to more of a problem of empathy rather than a problem of just corruption. Um, so that of course will work into it. I think that that works into the whole apathy part. Uh, I'm try maybe a little bit. Add just a little bit. But are you playing Ark? I thought about it, but I'm like, I can't. I can't. Not because I can't play Ark, but because this is this is still too important for me. I've had a bad habit of being like, hey, put it off. And I'm like, no, no. The last thing I want to do is start losing momentum on my drawing. I actually think that's really dangerous for me right now. I think I'm in a really good spot with my art, right? Like I think I'm in a really good spot with my art. And right now, the worst thing I can do, which has already started creeping in, which is starting to do less of it. I've been more willing to say, I don't need to draw today, or I don't need to do animation this week. And I'm like, now that animation is super behind. I need to I need to get back to it and focus on it and just say that day is going to be animation no matter what. But that's why I need like I need a writing day. I need like at least a writing day. I need at least uh an animation day, and I need at least a drawing day. And then anything in between is just like doing reels and audio logs and stuff like that. The nice thing about the audio logs, if I'm going to put off anything, I think it will be the audio logs. Those will just come out as they come because there are things that take a little bit higher priority. I got to be ready for the next session. That's going to take a higher priority than getting audio logs done. I need to make sure I'm continuing my like growing my artwork. That takes a little bit more than my audio logs. Like, but I do want to get back to making those audio logs. I feel like I kind of fell back behind on that. And recently I've just been like very much in a bit of a not I'm not gonna say rut. I've been in ruts. You've seen me in ruts, James. I'm not actually really in a rut as much as I feel like I'm just kind of burnt. I'm a little burnt out, but in a way that makes me go. I'm burnt out in the kind of way that it's like I don't want to stop. It's me and my brain literally being like, you're burnt out. Even if you want to do this, you're still burnt out. And I'm just like, God damn it, you're right. Which is in my opinion, the worst kind. Because I think it's easy to be burnt out about something you don't care about. It's hard to be burnt out about something you really give a shit about. And I think the difference there is like burnout, you still feel like you can do stuff, right? You're just burnt out. Like, ugh, doing this now. Whereas, you know, when you're in a rut, you just can't do anything. Burnout, you can do things in. A rut, you can't. And I'm not really in a rut. I am so fucked up with things that I need to do. Like, I have too many things at this point. Like, I can't not find things to do. So it ain't that. I know it's not that. Well, enjoy your raids. I wish you much luck. Make sure to bag a few bad guys and help help. Don't shoot the good guys. Mistakes happen. I know you were telling me about one the other day. That sucks, buddy. That's rough, buddy. But hey, though I will say, thank you for commenting. This has been something that I guess people are a little bit paranoid about. And I still don't know if there's evidence for this or if they ever rolled it back or not, but there's a little bit of a discourse going on when it comes to specifically Twitch, that Twitch maybe semi recently in the last 2 months has, which might explain some stuff and makes me a little bit mad. It is harder to lurk. It's just harder to lurk. They they're saying, oh, it's to deal with the bots, and it's like, my brother in Christ, sometimes the bots are the ones talking the most. No offense to anybody who's watching, we appreciate you. That's the problem. So some people are a little bit spooked that Twitch semi recently has been weirdly trying to crack down, and in doing so has made it harder to lurk. So it's harder to count lurkers as viewers, which just makes it harder to find people because unfortunately people are vain and they're going to be like, well, nobody's watching this guy. Why would I watch this guy? And it's like, well, to be fair, I don't go out of my way to watch too many other people. Like, I don't go out of my way to find new streamers, so fair enough. Anybody who does, we appreciate you 100%. You genuinely are doing something that most people just can't and don't. Background, we're gonna just do something light. I want there to be a bit more texture, so I'm gonna add circuitry back here, power box. This is something I've gotten much better at. I love doing this kind of filling in the background kind of stuff now. I don't know when I started doing this, but as soon as it started clicking with me, it the irony is I think the I was doing like kind of more studies of Mr. Ross, and that helped me quite a bit actually, I feel like. This a little bit more. Also, I'm excited for next week. I'll be in Chicago again, but for something else. This is something new. Excited. Oh, wife, it better be ready. I am. I am excited though, and I appreciate it, of course. And this will be different and good for me in a way. It'll get me mainly, and again, I want to admit this, like, and I think I'm fair to say this. It's like I'm glad. I want to get an idea of what these are like as well, so that way, if she goes to another one, or if I find one near me that I want to go to, because I do. Fun fact, everybody, I do actually really like working these cons. I just like doing it. It's fun for me. I get to meet a bunch of people. I get to get in contact with a bunch of people. So the more cons I can do and start moving in the direction of cons that are good, like for me, is always good. So I definitely want to go. I will admit to also get some information, see if I can also get a little networking. But I also understand I'm absolutely there to help out, and like I just enjoy working a con. So, and either way, it just sounds like a good fun trip. I like Chicago. Chicago is good. Chicago is good. I like Chicago. Will say kind of a nightmare to drive in, so that will be unfortunate. But otherwise, Chicago's great. Great food, great drinks. Um, it's good. It's a good ass place. I really like Chicago. I've never even the last Chicago trip I did, which I would argue is probably on the list of the worst Chicago trips, was still a good Chicago trip. I just like Chicago. And the only reason why it sucked is because it was fucking cold. So that's the only other thing is like I'm not a fan of Chicago in the winter. That's probably the only reason why I would dislike Chicago. Otherwise, I like Chicago. I don't know why I like Chicago so much. I just like it. It's a, I like it. It's a cool place, in my experience. It's also funny. I would still like describe myself particularly as not like being that much of a traveling person, but it is weird that in my friend group, like I do travel a decent amount. But I will admit, kind of lucked out. I don't think I've really had. I want to do more traveling. I will admit I can really only travel most of the time. I'm not the one trying to figure out how to get there. Which I've been very lucky for. I've been very fortunate for. I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm very grateful that I've had a lot of good luck with people who have gotten me to places that I would have never gotten to myself. I wouldn't have. I would have never gotten there by myself. So that I'm grateful of. It's something I think about actually a decent amount. Is like how difficult it is to travel. It's not easy to travel. I don't think it is. I don't think most people think it is either. But especially now, I think it is very difficult to travel, which is kind of both a bummer and kind of stressful for me for different reasons that we don't have to get into. But just say I would like to travel more for plenty of reasons, both personal and non personal reasons. I can't. Not easily, anyways. It is stressful for that. Man, this I might just do one picture today. We'll see. This picture has been taking me the whole time, so I'm kind of a little rusty. I did a little bit of drawing last week. I did a little bit of drawing last week. You guys saw the funny. Did you guys see the funny free rune I made? I really did enjoy drawing that for it's fun. I love that picture. Just like it's so funny. I think the people who love that picture the most are all just genuinely just other artists, and that makes me feel good. Honestly, it makes me feel good to know that like obviously people want to see people make things. That's really what it comes down to, right? Is like people just want to see people do things. Nobody wants to see anyone and try things and stuff. So that's just very wholesome. It's like weirdly wholesome whenever you have moments like that. And I think like what's weird is I think there's a bit there are two camps but I do think there's overall a bit of a camaraderie when it comes to making things, especially now, to be like, if you're making anything, good, because right now it's getting harder to make things and getting harder to compete making things. So we're kind of getting to a point of creativity where I think that it's kind of discouraged. I think it's a little discouraged to be competitive. Like, it's already so hard. Why would you make it harder for somebody else? I think that is a genuine, and maybe it's always been that way, but I think like now more than ever, it is genuinely difficult to be that aggressive about like being competitive. I don't think people can be competitive anymore. Is the irony. I don't think anyone can afford to be competitive. I think this is a good thing as long as we're willing to act on that. By the way, I actually think that that's a good thing if we're actually able to start moving in a direction to start supporting people better. Because I think that's a big thing that I would have suffered so much less grief if I just understood that I could have a support group. But once I finally got the support group, guess what? I got better. I got better, and I started making things better. No, I think there's still every now and then that feeling of like a little bit of elitism in creative spheres, but I just even going to these shows and getting to see like the old time magic artists, people like me, just guys, just making fun art. Like I've become friends with a couple of them. Need to follow them. That's because I'm bad at that. The irony is I'm bad at social media now. I've no social media presence at this point a little bit, and that might be for the best, but that's just because I'm tired of its bullshit. But it does mean that I'm kind of like, well, eh. I'm not happy about it. I will say that much, and I will say I need to already be like, Isaac, don't you be looking at TikTok. That's even kind of worse a little bit. There's some things I like better about TikTok, but otherwise TikTok I can't tell. I always hear the that, the way that Instagram is now is mainly just because it wanted to be TikTok. So I can't really get too mad at its like layout or anything. That doesn't mean that I'm like in love with it. And I have to sometimes it's almost a little bit easier to scroll on TikTok than it is on Instagram, which is saying a lot. It was getting really easy to just lose time to it. Oh, Fresco, how are you the one good Adobe product? I just don't get it. This is considered the free Adobe product too, I believe. I think everyone can get Fresco. I think Fresco is free. It is Adobe's Paint. It's a pretty good paint program. It just emulates media. It's a good media emulator, and that's all I need out of it. It feels like you're working with paints. It feels like you're working with graphites. It feels like you're working with physical medium. Um, I'm sure I could get the same thing out of Photoshop, but I think Photoshop gets a little bit too uppity. Why don't you use Krita? Mm. Fun fact, everybody. Sometimes I just use something because it became convenient. And I found Fresco, and it was like, oh, this is comfortable. It's comfortable. It's not because I think it's better or that everyone should use Fresco. I just think Fresco is weirdly the. It's not the. It's not the best Adobe product because it's better than anything else. It's just the Adobe product that I think I have the least problems with. It still has its problems. It has a crashing problem to this day that I still don't understand. I know how to avoid it. I know how to get around it. Don't know why it happens. It's very strange. Very odd. I don't know what it is. Gotta go thin. Cut in a little bit. Thicker. Oh god, I gotta remember. Hold on, I gotta look something up. And probably what I'll do today is I'll probably do some writing. Probably. We'll see. We'll see. I do need to, because that's the thing is like I either need to do writing or I need to work on on. I think what I need to do is I need to make sure I'm always ready for the next session before I work on audio logs, regardless of where I'm at in audio logs. Because the thing about audio logs is, ironically, when the game is done, I'm gonna have so much more time to be able to work on audio logs. I'm almost a little bit like maybe the game finishes well before I ever finish making audio logs, and then I just have audio logs for a long ass time to work on. And then if we do tabletop again, which might be a ways away, somebody else could do it while I'm still working on audio logs. Bees, what do you want to make audio logs for that game? Shit. Fuck. No, that's their project. Hey, you want to work on? Hey, you want audio logs for this? This is your game. I'm gonna give them to you. Is that what you could suffer? No, I'm not gonna be that mean. I do like working on those audio logs. I think they are time consuming. That's it. They're just time consuming. There's nothing wrong with them. I enjoy doing them. They just take probably the most time compared to even the reels. And I would say it takes me roughly about an hour, I would say, to make one audio log. I don't think it takes more than an hour, unless I'm having a really hard time, or I'm doing a lot of in-depth, like if I'm doing a lot of research for like audio effects, or if I'm doing a lot of Foley, that takes me a little bit more time. But they don't take me long. They really don't take me long. Just been just been bit about them. Sometimes I feel that call. Wow. See, mother likely ban evader. I'm telling you. All they're doing is hurting the people who just watch for the sake of watching. Like Twitch doesn't understand that can exist. I was kind of curious about going live on YouTube. I was curious about switching over to YouTube, but the fear of that is, see, I'm at the weird spot, right? Like I'm like, I have an audience here. How much of that audience is here because of Twitch? How much of that audience is here because they know me? Would the switch over to YouTube be better? Like, it's tough. Honestly, I might look into dual streaming. I know some people do that. I don't know how intensive that is. This is the problem, and I don't know how to go about doing it. I don't know if I need a plug-in for OBS. I need to research that. And then, once I start getting some, like, better data on, like, how things like YouTube behaves compared to Twitch, then I could be like, okay, maybe I do a full switch or whatever. So I know it's possible. I've seen people do dual streams all the time. And for me, that wouldn't be that bad. Also, I wouldn't even have to change anything for OBS because I don't have like anything that's proprietary toward Twitch. Well, that's not 100% true. I do. I have some things that are proprietary towards Twitch, which is like, that would be updating things in OBS though. Though that's the other thing is I don't even know how YouTube handles this kind of stuff, and Twitch has a little bit more like, I like the tool like Hydrate Man and stuff. I don't know if YouTube can do that. I'm sure it can. I'd be surprised if it couldn't, but if it can't do Hydrate Man, it's like, well, yeah, I want to keep doing Twitch here then. Like, I don't know how many console commands viewers have in YouTube. I don't know if they have any at all. That's kind of an important factor for me, actually. Darken. Yeah, I like how this one came out. Oh, I like how this came out. This came out really, really good. A little bit wider, a little bit wider. Give it that kind of like cloth texture. But I want it to be like a dirty kind of leathery look. What's funny is if I remember correctly, Fred's Fred's canonical outfit color is pink. I think he's a pink shirt. God damn it. I forgot about that. I forgot about that. That's really funny. Don't want to be the pink shirt. Bad things happen to the pink shirt. Down to harsh black. That's what I sure. But he's really gripping. Yeah, I like the way that looks. That looks good. That looks good. Oh yeah, I was gonna check this. Red, what's your bag? Oh yeah, it's his utility pack with a fade. Oh yeah. He's got like you're gonna say this is like his belt, and it's got like stuff like this, and he's got his utility fanny pack. God, I actually have to look up a fanny pack as a reference. Fanny pack. Okay, that is what it is. Who wears a fanny pack across their chest? That's heinous. That's not where the fanny pack goes. Just saying. do for that? What does he have right now? He hasn't. He's got that. He's got assorted tools. He got 200 meters of paracord. Say he's probably got like here. Of out. Fold it up a little bit. Add some coils to it. This is something I actually really like about being able to do graphite a little bit. Is being able to like fudge it a little bit. That. Gotta go finer. A lot finer, actually. A bit more. Oh. Down to, let's go to a 10 first. Yeah, that's real. This looks really cool and is really. I really like how this is coming out for good old Fred. As in, it's coming out pretty bad for good old Fred. He's not doing so hot in this picture. Absolutely, absolutely get that fanny pack in there. I like I like also the way that light, that circle for the light is coming in. It's quite nice. Nice effect. Just in case, we're gonna go super light. A bit more background. I want to darken it slightly. Don't want it to be crazy. I don't want it to be crazy necessarily. Don't worry, guys. If you're worried about whether or not Fred makes it, he does. He actually kind of does something badass. I seeing this and seeing how lucky Fred got in a certain sense. Um, Fred just took the gun and then just shot it off of his freaking face. But I want to imagine based on the wound that it got, because it said the bullet got lodged inside of the wound that it got was that the bullet got lodged inside. So literally, he just pointed it at his head and shot and hoped for the best. That's brutal, Fred. That you can't get much more risky than that. That's dangerous, Fred. That's how people die. I want there to be a little bit more reflection there. Yeah. Do I do another one? I kind of am like a part of me is like at least do a lazy one. Do a lazy one today. Do as much. If I only do one today, I'm only do one today. Honestly, I think we're gonna hit at least 2 hours, but I think I just want to do one today. I kind of want some. I think of it this way: the goal is to keep drawing. I got one drawing done today. That's perfectly fine, perfectly good. I kind of want some other things that I want to work on. I have some other things I want to do. So there we go. I did think about doing. I'll probably save this for the end of the year then, but I did think about doing a garter phone for Thanksgiving, but I ended up changing my mind. I just was like, I don't know. It was a little half baked. If anything, the Arc Raider stream I had that day was kind of half baked. But I'm glad I did that one, honestly. I like this lighting effect that I found though a lot, and the reason why is because I feel like so much of this lighting effect works because it's allowing me to experiment with the lighting a little bit more. Because again, like at this point, there have been no at this point in the fiction, the power was still off, the lights were still off, so like it's very dark. The only light sources they had were their own kind of like light sources. Um, which actually, and he kind of mentioned this. I remember this. Hold on, I'm gonna try something. I remembered him describing that he had taken his flashlight of some kind and affixed it to, if he could affix it to the end of his to the handgun. I went, yeah, no, you could do that. Just kind of thinking about how that would go. Another source I see of a lot of streaming these days actually is TikTok, though I feel like that's its own headache. That would be its own setup, honestly. They just make things more complicated for me. It doesn't get easier. I see a lot of TikTok streamers. That's why I'm like, maybe. We'll see. TikTok is doing something weird. I'm not gonna lie. TikTok is not doing nothing, which is surprising to me. Like, I fully was aware, expecting to be like, well, I'm late to this fucking show house too. Might as well just start posting here because Instagram has condemned me to hell. And then it turns out TikTok's kind of doing something. I'm like, oh fuck, TikTok's doing something. Isn't that what you wanted? Yes, but this is my thing. This is my thing. Too many. Too much. Too many things. Too many different places. Makes more work for me to do. I want it localized. I want it to be where I could just be like, oh, I just need to focus here. Don't worry about anything else. No, that's not how it works now. You gotta do it everywhere. You gotta post on every fucking platform. It sucks. And one platform will do fuck all, and the other platform will blow up, and you're just like, ugh. What's funny is a lot of this. I want to level. I think a lot of this, especially like this specific kind of like frustration, comes from my Facebook group, the old Facebook group, not the current one, the original Facebook group, and that's because I was at a time in which Facebook did things, and I got a little bit of growth. And then since then, I have not been able to break free of anything. Like I had like a huge amount of growth in the Facebook days, and it just died. It just stopped, and then I couldn't do it again. And I didn't ever knew. I still don't know why. It's a little annoying, actually, personally. So you're wondering how somebody like me can be doing this for as long as I've been doing it, at the level that they're doing it. It's because I know I can. Like I know it could be bigger and better. It has been. Weird part is, for my experience, is it keeps stalling out. That's the part that's getting to me at this point. I need to figure out how to deal with that, both for myself, somebody who makes things, and to make it stop happening. But if I can't make it stop happening, at least deal with it. Because my Facebook page did something for a while, and then it stopped, and then it started doing something again for completely unrelated reasons. But then it stopped again because those completely unrelated reasons stopped. Uh, And then since then, it's been really difficult. There was a period of time that I was on the internet, that I was benefiting from the internet, making it possible to grow. And it feels like, yes, those days are behind me, and thus a little bit of what I've been struggling with personally is like not necessarily like trying to get back to the glory days. No, not at all. I want to go back to those days. Those are bad days. Um, really, it's just to be like, now how do I move forward, right? Like, how do I take everything that I learned from that and actually like apply it to what I'm doing now? That's what I want. Like, how do I get the traction I had back then now when I could actually really benefit from it and like do more with it and be a thing with it? That's the hard part for me. I think that's what I've been working on a lot personally. Like that's what a lot of this has been. Because I also didn't take anything like when I was starting doing this, I wasn't taking anything seriously. I wasn't because I didn't think there was any reason to. Or rather, the way that I was doing it, I didn't think there was any reason to take it seriously. Not because I didn't want it to grow, but because I thought, oh, the best way to grow and the best things, the people that I see who are succeeding right now don't take this seriously, so I shouldn't take it seriously either. And I think that kind of screwed me up. Back in the days when you could have a name like Donkey and Demolition D and Douchebag Chocolate, like you didn't, you have only Afro and all those names, all these names that are, for all intents and purposes, not very good names. Not market wise, they're not very good names. They're very good names because they're background, but not because of the fact that they got very good marketable names. I grew up on the YouTube where the most notable people had usernames that still had numbers in them. That's not a thing anymore. Hasn't been for a while, and I was kind of behind the ball on that. Like I was going by Link 1299 still way too late into the game. Which is on me. So a lot of this is like just me trying to unbury myself from this hole that I did kind of dig myself. I will admit I am a little responsible for this hole. That's the thing is, I think now I'm at the awkward part where I'm at the awkward point that I'm like really working hard to dig out of that hole, and I'm just like, how did I dig this hole so deep? Sometimes I think I didn't even realize I dug it that deep, right? I don't think you, I don't think I even realized I got that far into the ground. That's all I was doing was fucking around on the internet. Even though I was interested in suing it as a form of expression, I wasn't taking it seriously. Because again, all the people that I saw being successful didn't need to. And at that time, you didn't need to. I don't think you needed to take YouTube or internet very seriously to be successful on the internet at one point. And it sucks that you kind of do now. Unless you already have that established audience, you kind of have to take things seriously. That sucks. Because I'm not a serious person, anyways, by nature. This is not the kind of person I am. Um, or at least I think you need. There are also always going to be shortcuts, and there are shortcuts for not having to take it serious. And well, to be fair, when I say take it serious, I mean like take it serious from the standpoint of like uh, trying to be weirdly more respectable. I think it's hard to be. I think it's still a little. You can kind of shortcut it, but that can make you very make for a very awkward experience on the internet. I don't know. The internet's weird. I have a weird relationship with the internet, and I think part of it is part of that weird relationship comes from a bit of me growing up with a version of the internet that was not. I had an era of the internet in which I was somehow the focal point of the internet. Not the focal point, but a focal point of the internet. And I think it's become difficult for me now to kind of refine that focal point a little bit. For me, you have a portion of the internet that focuses on you. Never, ever, ever let it go. Because I was the focal point in places like the Primal Carnage forums. I was a focal point in places like the Spore forums. I was a focal point in places like. When I say focal point, it's not that I was the focal point, it's that I had a presence that had a voice that had notoriety that people recognized me in both good and bad. That's what I mean by focal point. I don't mean focal point that it was all about me. I mean, no, I had presence on the internet. And I haven't felt that in a long. I do genuinely feel that. I feel like my internet presence has largely diminished. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing is, I actually think that's probably a lot better for me. I think it's good that people don't know me as well. The things I was known for was a bit of a mixed bag. I think I was known for some good things and some not so good things. That's a fact. But it also means now it has slowly gotten a little bit harder to feel like I have any kind of like interest point or audience at this point. But I do have one. I want to maintain that. I recognize that I do have one. And it's really weird. It's such a good audience for exactly what I'm doing, but is so bad, or it's a good audience for me, but is so bad for what I want to do. It's weird. It's just weird. It's a thing that I'm saying this as a analysis of the consequences of everything, not as a judgment. You guys are great, and I appreciate everyone who supports the stream. I appreciate my friends working on the stream with me, and I appreciate that you guys put up with my bullshit. It's just weird. It's a weird philosophical. It's a weird falafel that I deal with. And I think it's fair. I think it's a fair one. I think it's a weird spot. I think a lot of people find themselves in this spot too. And especially me. What I find so bizarre about it is, weirdly enough, if I'm good at anything when it comes to kind of like public presence, I'm good at two things. I'm good at in the moment, and I'm at like making noise in the moment, focused on myself, and I'm good at finding people who have more uh uh who have more not I mean, respect is a way to phrase it, rapport, who have more rapport than me, and interacting with them. I don't know why. And that's not a gloat, or at least I don't think it's a gloat. Maybe if this is a humble brag, I'm sorry. I just think it's something I'm really good at. But no, I think I'm really like going to Magic Con and stuff. Like, the worst I did was maybe I did kind of fan. I'm so paired again. I'm sure it's fine, and if anything, I'm sure Mr. Gilbert enjoyed the interaction. I hope he did. I did. I did fangirl out a little bit when I finally ran into Mr. Gilbert, because I just wasn't expecting it. But I do find that a lot of like, because I find that I interact directly with a lot of people who hold it, with at least inside their own circles, a lot of presence and power, and I interact with them a lot, just basally and directly and respectfully, and that's something that I find that I do a lot. I don't know how or why I do that, but I do. Which makes it a little bit awkward, because it sometimes it got to there was a point where I kind of didn't do it, and then I was feeling a little bit awkward trying to like reconnect with people and stuff, because I didn't want to make it about me, especially because for a while it'd been made clear that sometimes I have a problem where I do make it about me. I do make myself the focal point, and that estranges people sometimes. I get that. I admit that that's a flaw I have. I'm I genuinely am sorry every time I do it for anybody out there. Like, I know not everything's about me. Also, it's ad time, so I'll keep talking over the ads. I know not everything's about me. I get it. It's tough from my perspective to admit that part of the reason why I struggle with that is also a lot of the times it isn't about me at all. A lot of times, the very little that is about me that I get to like have be about me and benefit from is not as much as uh, I feel like I could benefit from, if that makes sense. And I mean that not in a sense of like other people can't benefit. No, I mean like I see other people benefit from them, from being themselves. That's why it's like I get it. It might seem like I a lot of times get a little fixated on like what I want to do, but that's also because ironically, especially growing up, I was not the focal point. I was never the hero. I was never the best. I was never wanted. They just something that I didn't have. And then when I found a group who did let me express those things, I ended up probably being a little selfish sometimes. And I have been a little selfish sometimes for it. I do apologize for that. I do apologize for it. Because in a certain ironic sense, in enabling me, you actually gave me something that I just never had. I appreciate that. Same thing here for everybody who watches. You're enabling me to do the things that I genuinely am passionate about because I always wanted to do the things I've wanted to do. The problem was and has kind of continued to be less so over time, but still continues to be is I want to do the things I want to do. I need to find the people who want me to do them. And that's hard. It's just genuinely hard in my experience. It's hard. It's difficult. Um, I've had a hard time finding that. It's not easy. I don't think it's easy for anybody, but it's been especially hard for me. And for those who have like a fully established audience, where that audience is, which I'm also starting to learn, nobody's audience is filled with everybody. The irony is your audience is not filled with only people that like you. That is something I need to get used to a little bit. Or that your audience is only filled with people who have your best intentions in mind. Yeah, go figure. Somebody who's out in public doing this. Uh, yeah, it's weird. It's fucking weird. It's a weird thing to think about. Because again, like a little bit of the social contract is there's an exchange of some kind with this, right? There's a little bit of an exchange. So welcome back from ads, everybody. Uh, Essentially, at the place that I'm at now, more than anything, is I just simply want to be able to continue to expand whatever I'm doing in support of somebody else. That's something I always want to establish. But I definitely needed some time to be able to feel like I was doing stuff. Because for a long time, I wasn't. I mean that is in like I wasn't doing stuff. Like not that I wasn't actively creating things or anything, but a lot of my a lot of my growth and interaction on the internet really does stem from just trying to find those like groups of people who will validate the existence. So, hot take, anybody out there, you we all do seek people on some level. We all do. That's a normal thing to do. Normal, difficult. I'm to do like a little bit of So yeah, um, that's my TED talk on continuing to try to make things when I made when I peaked years ago. I don't even think I that's the problem. I don't think I peaked. I maybe peaked in some ways, but I think that's part of the interesting dilemma that I think I and everyone who makes things runs into at some point is like things change, something goes different, something goes wildly different, and then suddenly you have to deal with that. And I think that is a thing of adjustment that takes a while to sometimes adjust to, and you have to come to grips to it in different ways. Some people stop doing what they do. Some people change whatever it is they were doing at all. But I think everybody who like makes things, especially in a public space like this, struggles with that either constantly or eventually. Ooh, I like that wrinkle. I like that effect. One of the things I want to make clear with this is like the exposed muscle is like darker. Like it's like muscle without skin, but it doesn't mean it's like bloodied. It's just been stretched out. But that's not to say that I'm doing nothing too. I gotta remember that. I'm like actually doing a lot of work to kind of reestablish a lot of those binds and bonds because I think it also like to not get too into it. Like I've actually had kind of bad experiences where I would like learn like I had a bad experience in which really early on I was trying to like figure things out and like grow things. So I was like trying to do networking. I had a bad networking experience once where I was like in a Facebook group and I was kind of like I got some notoriety in that Facebook group and I was trying to utilize it to help grow and stuff, like just get my name out there. Um, and there was a big falling out. There's a big falling out that happened, and then I got caught in the middle of it because I'm just a shit posting idiot. Like I don't care. I what's so funny is anytime drama ever propped up in one of those things, I did not give a shit. I did not give two fucks. Why? I don't like drama. Actually, I don't like. I like melodrama fictionally, and I don't like drama in reality. Drama in reality is stupid. Hot take. Is a waste of time. If you can't talk about what's going on, blah. Like I've never been one to involve myself in drama all that much because it's just not something I give a shit about. I just don't care. I just do not care. It's all petty. Typically in my experience. Um, but I had like a situation once where some drama went down and then I got caught in the middle of it because I refused to like kind of take a side, was just kind of taking the piss out of it. I ended up getting booted from it and I was like, wow, I thought this guy was kind of chill. Like we had conversations. They seemed like a chill person, but I guess not. So that was something, though now I'm like starting to realize that I should do more networking again, and especially reconnect with maybe some things that I had in a long time. Two things have happened recently that made me go, I should network more. I have two things. One of them, to which I'm like, what would happen if I contacted them and be like, hey, I noticed you liked my stuff, and I'm a big fan of yours. If you want fan art or anything, Cheaton has liked two of my posts on on Blue Sky. That blows my fucking mind. I don't know, are they a chipmunk? Cheetan chipmunk? What is Cheetan? I mean, they're violent. I know they're violent. But, like, what are they? I have no idea. You don't know who Cheetan is. Cheetan is kind of a an old. They're an older name, but they're still making stuff. They're kind of like a mascot, a Japanese mascot. They've anyone who knows this, they're most famous for a GIF of this kind of like mascot of a like chipmunk rodent. They got like a big head, big chibi head and everything. They're tan. They've got a hat. Taking a bat, just beating the shit out of like a Bonko the bear or Bonko the clown, and just like tearing ass inside of this white room. And then they're just known for like being a goofball. They liked two of my drawings. I was like, what the hell? So I might be like, hey, I'm trying to grow my art and whatever. I might have to be like, hey, you want some, like fan art or something? I can do that. You don't even have to pay me. I'll fucking just give me some attention. That would be nice. I would do that. I might do. We'll see. Maybe I'll do some Cheetan fan art because I didn't realize Cheetan was a fan of me. This is what I'm saying. How do they find me? I'm just a weirdo on the internet. The other one is Out of Nowhere, and this was a lot longer and older. This was a Facebook group that I remembered following a long time ago. That they've been doing their own thing for a while now, and I kind of want to get more involved again. I mean, like I've been getting involved in Positivity. They're pretty cool. I like a lot of their guys, their folks. Been trying to keep contact with them. Just kind of be my goal is always just to be a contributing part of a community. It's not to make the community about me. It's to be like, no, you guys have a community. I would like to provide to it. That is always what it's been for me. That is how I usually try to interact with communities on the internet, where I start building rapport. Is it's not about me actually. It's just about providing to it on some level, like whether it's interactions, personality, artwork, stuff like that. That's how I go about my networking, and I got bad at it for a while there. Um, but Out of Nowhere, an older one, they go by Band Victims, which is ironic now. I actually, out of nowhere, one of them pinged, and they were like, "Hey, shout out to the oldie lurkies," and they pinged me and like two other guys, and I was like, I immediately responded. I was like, "What the fuck? How'd you? What?" And they're like, "I just remembered you. You're like old time," and I was like, well, fuck. Like, I'm not dead. I haven't been dead. I guess I need to like, that's the thing, is I have to sometimes be reminded I've had influence. I've had effects. People remember me. People remember me who I don't even remember. And that is not an insult. I want to, that is a me problem. That is a me brain problem. I forget people all the time, but not because you aren't important and not because you don't matter. I just have bad memory for that shit. Um, it is absurd to me how many interactions I've had with people like once or twice that I actually left that much of an impression on them. Sometimes I have to be reminded I do that. So, I don't know. Uh, that's why I'm like, I got to keep doing my thing. I'm not like off the internet. I've never been off the internet. I've never been erased from the internet. I don't think it's possible. The internet I will be erased from the internet when one of two things are fulfilled. When the internet itself and Google decide to completely erase everything I've ever done off of it, and Google kills me. Because that'll also be the day that Google comes to my house and murders me in broad daylight, actually. I don't think they'd do it in my sleep. Maybe they would. I don't know. I don't know how underhanding Google is. Why do I think it's Google? I don't think it's Google. It'll be any of them. So, sorry, Google. Didn't mean to single you out there. I just assume it'll be one of you. You're the first name that came to mind. So, I want to make that clear, Google. It's not that I think you'll do it. I just think you would be one of the ones to do it. There's a difference. There's plenty of other ones that I think that would get to me too. How do we feel about Fred right now? I like that this has come out. Honestly, 2.5 hours for this. I think this is pretty good for 2.5 hours. Like, I was kind of warmed back up. I needed a bit of a pick me up as far as like getting back into drawing. I needed something that would just like get me into doing a thing. This was good. I'm glad we did that. I'm glad we did this. And again, it's not a pick me up because it was I was really having a bad day. Don't you worry. I think drawing has been a little a little daunting for me recently. It comes and goes sometimes, and believe it or not, sometimes I get a little intimidated. It's less of a I can't draw today because I don't have the capacity to even. It's more like man, I just wanna play video games. Sometimes that's all it is. Sometimes you just want to play video games. I get it. I get it. I understand now. I understand that bit. I understand why he had that demo. Valid crash out for just wanting to play video games. Sometimes I just want. I get it. I get it now. I totally understand. Hey, as much as I want to play video games, I do maintain that I'm glad that I can continue doing this, and I'm glad that people are here, and I'm glad that whatever this crazy shit that's happened in my life that has gotten me to this point has happened. You know, like it's wild to me. I think everybody does have a life where they go, I can't believe this happened to me. Really. And if you don't, here's my advice to that. Talk to people. Just talk to more people. Talk to people you've never spoken to before. Reach out to people on the internet that you don't think would have any reason to reach out. The advice to reach out to them as a person. That's it. Even to Mr. Shout out to Mr. Gilbert. Sir, I do appreciate our interaction. If I fangirled, that is on me. But you're still a person. All the people I've interacted with are people, regardless of what they've accomplished. Start talking to people. Just talk to them. A lot of them probably just want to be talked to, not talked about. I certainly don't want to be. Not for any reason. I just don't like being talked about. I think talking about somebody is always kind of not to say that I haven't done it. Everybody talks about people, but I don't think it's a good habit. I don't think it's a good thing that you should do. I think it is something that if you do it, you should still look down on it. There are certain things that even if you do it, you should still down on it and maybe be like, I shouldn't do that. Talking about people is one of them. I think you should not worry yourself about what other people are doing. Worry about what you're doing. Everybody got enough bullshit that they're dealing with. You tell what's going. Yeah, I think you can. I can tell what's going on in this picture. I hope everybody else can. Poor Fred. Poor Fred. He got it around his neck. He got a bad squeeze. Oh no! It's all left. I should. There's actually one that I also want to reach back out to because again, I think I had some unfortunately bad interactions at one point. Though one of them I did not realize there was a little bit more context, and actually somebody has helped illuminate that to me, and I do need to reach out to this person. For those who know about the Crazy Moth, I actually knew her. She and I were friends. I won't dox her. I won't dox her. But the person I actually feel bad. Juniper. She goes by her VTuber is Juniper, and I know her name. But again, I'm not gonna dox people. I actually don't know if she's up to anything. I haven't heard from Juniper in a while. But I'll admit, I had a moment. I was actually getting close to her, and I thought we were friends for a while. And then one day, because we were in a group, said group was having some drama going on, which is also why I'm no longer in that group. Had some drama go on with her. And then shortly after that, she like disappeared from my life, like completely. She just stopped talking to me. She completely removed me from everything. She unfollowed me on everything. I didn't know what I did. And without getting into specifics, apparently like there was some other stuff that was going on that I just straight up didn't even know, and that I was apparently even associated with. That was not my fault. Like I was associated with it by accident. I did not mean to give any idea that I would be any association with that. Like it was bad. And I want to at some point, maybe today, who knows? I want to be like, hey, it's been a long time. You know, doing fine for the most part, but doing okay. Whatever happened back in those days. I hope it's behind you. I didn't know. So if hey Junie, if you're out there, keep doing you. Keep doing okay. Wish you the best. Now, sir, what are you streaming? Yeah. Leon losing his mind. But who knows? Maybe if I start doing that, if I start like just connecting with people again, I think I could start seeing things pick up again. Because that's the thing is the only reason why I've ever had anyone give a shit about anything that I've done has been nothing to do with me putting my stuff out there. It has been everything to do with the interactions I've had with the people that I've actually had interactions with. I mean that. That's not an insult. That's not a complaint. I'm grateful that on some weird level, if anyone gravitates to me, it's just because I'm weird enough to stay in your head. And that means a lot to me. That's a super cool thing. I can't ask that. I don't think anyone who makes anything could ask more than to know that the reason why anyone gravitates to them is just because they're weird enough to stick in their head. I appreciate that. I do. I genuinely do. I've gotten better at art. I've gotten better at video editing and voice acting, and even playing video games. I don't think anybody interacts with anything that I do based on how good I'm at anything, and I appreciate that. I want to get better at things. I always want to get better at things, and I appreciate that as time has gone on, that is not expected. That is not the expectation. At least not to me. And if it is the expectation, well, you're about to get disappointed, buddy. I learned slow. But no. Life is a winding road of piss. For real. Like, I just am not afraid to interact with somebody, I guess. I really am not. There's not really anything about someone that would intimidate me from talking to them that I can think of. There might be, but usually those things, those are actually due to an interaction I have already had with that person. Not because I had never met that person before. The thing that keeps me from interacting with somebody has everything to do with what I know about them as a person. I don't know who you are. I'll at least interact with you. Absolutely. And trust me, there's a very tiny list for that. All right, on that note, being philosophical, I actually kind of want to call it early a little bit today. Like I said, I just wanted to hop in. I'm done. Thank you for making me draw Fred getting strangled. It was a fun moment. Thank you for going back and re-listening to the VODs. Like, I, I, as I said, as I've stated, I make those with the intent that people should be able to go back and rewatch and re-listen to them. Like, my VODs are there for people to enjoy as pieces of media. You should. It's good. It's good that you can. Um, I should figure out how to make speed draws. I should. I think I might try that. I don't know. As long as they don't take a lot of time. I think I know how I can make a speed draw. Just need to take my recording, digest it into like. Wonder what would happen if I just sped it up so it took like this 2.5 hours and put it in 3 minutes. Let's see what happens. That might be what I do after this. I might try that. I might experiment with it because I definitely know if I want to get my drawing on TikTok, I should make a video out of it. Post it directly to TikTok, but I could do speed draws. I don't know. It's on my mind. It's on my mind. We'll see. Either way, thank you for joining, everybody. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed the show. Before we go, at the end of every stream, I'm going to make a picture with you guys. The way I do that, the way that I make this picture, is that we're going to make a prompt together. I just have to get my stuff moved, but I'm going to open up Notepad, and I'm going to write a prompt. You guys can participate. All you got to do, got to type in chat. Whatever chat says, we'll use as a reference. I'll use as a reference. And then I have to draw it in paint, and then I'll share it before we write out. So, let me see. Wrangling the strangling arm of supporting friendship. Boy, that's going to be really hard to draw with a mouse. Because that's the thing, is the real challenge is whenever I'm using my drawing screen, I can't use the pen. Paint. Paint. It had to take me a second. Look, he's friendly. It's friendship. It's friendship, and you'll know why, because I'll add a detail. God, doing this with a mouse is so hard. There, see? Friendship. He loves it. To be fair, I don't know if this is a boy hand or a girl hand. I don't know if this is a boy hand or a girl hand. All right. Well, if you want to see that picture, stick around to the very end. I just also do a bit of a closing bit. We do raid at the end of every stream, so that way the daywalkers in our chat can keep watching. Just everybody else out there, make sure to go lock your doors and windows. It's almost lunchtime for vampires. Thank you for joining, everybody. Hope you had a good time and you enjoyed the show. If you're able to join the live show, thank you for stopping by and chatting and watching. If you watch this in the future, thank you for taking the time to go back and rewatch the VOD. We appreciate it. If you're out there and you enjoyed this, you wish to see what more we're up to, I recommend scrolling down below and following, or clicking any of the links below. There's a link to all the socials and Discord. We post when we go live on any one of those platforms, as well as anything else that we're up to, and just generally you can come hang out with the rest of the community on there. On the Discord, it's a good time in there. Speaking of which, a shout out to our community out in the Discord and everyone who follows. You guys are a wonderful audience. We appreciate you. If we do anything particularly entertaining or noteworthy, feel free to clip it and share it on the internet. Just also make sure to hashtag with MCCanary, or link it back to the stream, so people can find more of the good stuff we do here. And as always, if you want to see the stream grow, you've got to let people know. I appreciate that people have been talking about the stream, and I encourage you guys to do it more. It's just super rad that you guys have been willing to do that. It does help us out. Every time that you can tell people about the stream, it's just really nice of you and really cool of you to be able to do that. I don't do any other kind of advertising. I just kind of make my posts and to the wind, much like pissing into the wind. I kind of just hope that somebody smells it and yells at me to stop pissing into the wind. Not that it'll stop me, but it'll mean that I got someone's attention. But no, if you want to be able to help the stream out, being able to tell people is a great way to do it. So I encourage you guys to do it. It does help us out. Go tell people about the stream. Go tell your friends about the stream. If you enjoy this, go tell your friends about the stream. I won't. And as always, a huge thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon, Coffee, and Twitch. Your generosity allows us to continue to expand the stream, as well as take on more projects. The stream would not be made possible without viewers like you, so we thank you. If you want to see your name added to this list, as well as a couple of the benefits you get, you could always subscribe directly on Twitch. Or you can check out the Patreon and Coffee here. Those links will take you to the Patreon and Coffee. It'll show you everything that you can get. And any amount is always appreciated. I even have some commissions on Coffee. So you can go check that out. And thank you to your mods for your wonderful job of holding back the robot army in front of becoming famous. Well, thank you for coming and hanging out, everybody. Hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'm glad I could do some drawing, honestly, and I'll figure it out. I might try to do a quick. I'll see how long it takes. I might try to do a speed draw. We'll see, or set up a speed draw. So I don't know. Thinking about it. Otherwise, I'll get you through housekeeping to get you on your way. Check out the rest of our friends at Goblin Entertainment. That Linktree has links to everyone's channels and everything that they've done that they've been up to. Then next weekend, I need to find this. I need to find this information. But I'll be out in Chicago with Tara of Crowcast TV. So if you're in Chicago, we're gonna be out there. I believe for an art show. I think it's the Oddities. I think it's what she said. I'll have to ask her. But we'll be out there. I'm excited for that. But you can also find the rest of my stuff here. You can find the rest of my stuff here, which has links to everything that I post to, such as the VOD channel, which I highly recommend checking out. That's going to have all the VODs for not just the Twitch, but for all the VODs for Mothership. If you want to be able to hear all of the Mothership episodes, as well as the audio logs, that's where I've been posting them. Much, much more. So go check everybody out in Goblin Entertainment. And stick around, we'll go say hi to Mossman. He's playing a bug game. Bug crawling, dungeon crawling, bug time, nighttime bugs. He's fighting a moth with a friend, it looks like. So we'll go say hi to them. They're good guys. So stick around for that. Otherwise, have yourselves a good afternoon. Take it easy. And remember, just talk to people. Just talk to people. Just go talk to people. Put yourself out there is step 1. And step 2 is to share what you worked on. Step 1, Put yourself out there. Step 2, actually put your stuff on screen. And step 3, talk to people. Talk to people. This is the real lesson. There's only one way to learn who the cool ones are. And you gotta talk to them. Don't let the not cool ones ruin it for you. There's a lot of cool guys out there who do things. You just gotta find them. They are cool. They're chill. Good people. Not all of them, though. Just do remember that, too. Not all of them. Sometimes it's luck with that, but whether they're cool or not. But, gotta do our best.